Yeah. Good evening. Good evening, my people. Another one for you guys. Let me play another one. One song is not enough here. Yeah. Just one. Kamako. Before we go any further, Yazi, I was thinking. I was thinking. About ears. Indlebe. I just forgot to get the screenshot, Yabon. But someone was asking me the meaning of the name Qicha. And I told him Qicha means umadlebe. Qicha means someone with big ears. Because indlebe is the word qi. But it goes further than that. Qi in and of itself means the same. It means exact. It means alike. It's interesting, né? I know it sounds. We talk about ears, but think about it. The name for indlebe is a name that means exactly the same. Think about it. Look at ears. Look at how the ears look. They are the exact same thing on both sides. It makes sense for all the names in indigenous South African languages to mean exact. All the names that I've come across for ear mean exact, mean the same, mean side by side. E means ears. This is why for earrings, which are like a little ear in an ear, we use e. It's e for ear and e for diminutive, like something small. So e means a little ear. But the word e in and of itself means exact. It means exactly the same. You find some form of this word in the word for almost in isiZulu. Cishe. Uyabona? When they say cishe kwathi, cishe kwanje, it almost was like this, almost was. So just a little bit of this idea of ears meaning exact, you see it in isiZulu. But that's just one word, that one name of the ears. You find this, if you look for Kui languages, you find the word Ti, it's used heavily in those languages. But another word is used for ear in Kui. It's Tse. And Tse is a word that's also used to mean exact. Zifana Tse. Literally, Zifana and Tse, they look exactly the same. And it makes sense to me because ears look exactly the same. Literally, it's two things that are one on two sides. Thank you, Zesh. Thank you. So, Tse, you find it in Kui as well. I'll show you screenshots. I'll try and get them tonight. I'll try to get your screenshots and show you. So, E is for ear and Tse is for ear. Is also for ear. Think about ukufana Tse. Indlebe is fana Tse. But from Tse, you get ditsebe. Ditsebe, because that be at the end is just a noun class. It's a noun class suffix. We have noun classes in words. That's why you have the word ukugausha, to rule over, and ukugweba, to judge over. But they both mean the same thing. They come from the same root. Gaush and gaub. Gaush, to rule over, to judge over. Gaub, to rule over, to judge over. It's two words from two different noun classes, but it's the same word. Gau, to rule over. So ditsebe, it's literally just the noun class of the word tse, which has no suffix. So ditsebe are ears, which comes from the kui, or which relates to the kui, tse for ears, which both mean exact. Ears look exactly the same on both sides. Zifana tse, hence ditsebe. And then by extension towards other languages, we have nzebe and dlebe. That's it. So the name echa or icha, it could be tsecha as well, it literally means umadlebe. So in ancient times, back in the day, actually not even ancient times, like 100 years ago, a child with big ears would literally be called uqicha or uqecha or tsecha, because tse on tse means the ear, which is why we use qiqi for earrings. But to take it even further, another name for ears in Kwi dialects, I find the word ngwa and ngam to be used. I'm like, wow, because we use ngwa as well to explain similarity, similitude. We say zifana ngwa. It's crazy because it's the name for ears. Ears are called ishe, almost or exactly the same. Tse, exactly the same. Ukfana tse. Ngwa, we use that word exactly the same as well. Ukfana ngwa. I'm like, this is a crazy thing. This is crazy. How come I never saw? And then you have and ngam. Also means to be exactly the same. Zifana ngam. Or ngamashe or ngamashi. And it's the name for ears as well. So all the names, I realized that all these names must mean the same thing. Whether it's ngwa, whether it's ngam, whether it's ngamana, to be side by side, to be equal. Whether it's ngam, it's ngam, it's ngam, nyenam, or exactly adjacent to me, equal to me. Whether it's tse, ukfana tse, to be exactly the same. Whether it's tse or ti, like ticha, for someone with big ears. All these words literally come from the same word. In fact, tse, which means they're exactly the same. We use tse when we say zifana twa tse, because twa alone means the same and tse alone means the same as well. That's why one of the children of Umakoma was called Ma Twa. Twa means exactly the same. So when someone is asking you, how are you doing? And you've improved now. Let's say you were sick and you've improved. I would say, izinto azimtakangika. Mtakangika is called matwa, which means exact. So when I say things have changed, I'm going to say things are no longer matwa, which means things are no longer the same. Things have improved. Azimtakangika izinto. They are no longer the same as matwa. Twa means the same. Tse, I already explained it. Ukfana tse. So twa tse is exactly the same. Which is interesting because twa and tse both are used to mean the ears. So the core idea of the meaning of the name of the ears in all these indigenous languages, the name of the ears is exactly the same. The things that are similar, the things that look exactly the same. That's what the name of the ears means. Simple and clear. So when you hear names like Oqicha or Matwa, Qicha, big ears, Matwa, exactly the same. So I thought maybe I should touch on that before I talk about anything else. It's just something interesting that I observed that, damn, all these names across these different dialects somehow connect to one idea, the idea of similitude. Because if you really look at how ears are, they look exactly the same. But anyway, something I thought I could talk about was this one here. The use of face paint. The use of face paint is a mourning, as part of mourning, right? Some time ago, I was talking to my mother, some years back. I'm asking, yeah, mom, in your days, in the 50s, did you guys wear black when someone is passed on? This thing of wearing black, where does it come from? Because I can see the English people do it, Americans do it, they all wear black. Is this some global culture of some sort? My mom is like, Tina, we never used to wear black. We never used to wear black. Thank you, observer. My child, we never used to wear black, Tina. When someone is passed on, what we used to do was to put face paint, white face paint on. We used to put old clothes on. You didn't wear nice clothes when someone has passed on. You wear face paint, white face paint, and old clothing on. The idea here is that the white acts as a reflector. Remember, black absorbs, white reflects. Someone is passed on. White acts as a reflection instead of absorbing. I mean, the easiest way to see this, the easiest way to see this is to look at a road, like a tar road, a dark colored tar road. If it was hot, go and touch that dark colored tar road, or see it later in the day. It's warmer. But a bright colored surface tends to not trap the heat, or because heat is energy, by the way. It's thermal energy. It light colored tar road or whatever surface, it reflects the heat. Do you understand? So now it did not make sense to me, thank you, observer, for us when it's time of death to wear black. Almost like we are hoarding, we are holding on to instead of releasing. Because white is the color of release, whereas black is the color of absorption. So my mom is like, no, we actually used to wear white, not black. She mentioned something called intente, and I'm talking about my culture now. I don't know about other people's. There's something called intente that my mother mentioned, which is the older fabric from which imibhaco were made, these white Xhosa robes. She says, no, we used to wear intente, which is like these robes that were white, and we used to put on white face paint, ifuta. Some people call it ifuta, some people call it ingceke, some people call it imbola emhlophe. There are different names that people use. And I'm like, that is interesting. So when someone is passed on, you put earth on your body. You put the soil on your body. To my interest, I saw the same tradition in a Central African country. I think it's maybe Zambia. This picture is bad. I think it's maybe Zambia or something, where people literally put dust on their faces and they literally go and work looking like that. They go do their Uber looking like that. They put dust on their faces. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Then it's after the president died, by the way. It's after the president died. Everyone, a lot of people had put on that dust of soil on their faces. And I was like, oh, damn. This makes sense. This is exactly like how we used to do it. We put the earth on our bodies to symbolize death, because the person will be returned to the soil. But it goes even further, because when young boys go to cross over to manhood, yes, it's clay, which is a kind of soil. But in Zambia, it's not clay. I saw it. They use dust, some kind of soil, or maybe they don't mix it with water, but because it's dusty. Iqunqu or imquqwas, that's how we describe it. It's not sticky, but this one is a kind of white clay. We call it ifuta or ingceke. I just realized that it is a mourning ritual. When someone is mourning, it doesn't even have to be a literal death or unaliving. TikTok is gonna restrict me now. It could be a symbolic or a figurative or allegorical passing, even a rite of passage. When boys go to cross over, they have to put on this white clay, not just here in South Africa. I've seen it in Uganda and other countries in that region as well. Young boys going to cross over, they put on this to mourn the death of the boy and the resurrection of the man. And the resurrection in these cultures I'm talking about, at least one of them is symbolized by the red clay, which is the color of blood. The white clay is the color of the bones. The white clay is the color of the bones. The red clay is the color of blood. Blood, life. Bones, transition over to the other world. Thank you, non-wise. So I realized that, oh man, so we use white as some kind of mourning color, which is completely opposite to what the church taught our people. It's the opposite. We use it as a mourning color because gamathambo amhlophe alelukthula. It's the color of transcendence. It's the color that's used to transcend, to open up passage from this to the next realm. Kwela mathambo amhlophe. There's nothing to do with people's skin color. I mean, besides the fact that the people that are white are actually not white themselves. They're pink. But that's besides the point. It's a color of transition to the realm of the bones. Figuratively. Kwele mimoya. This took me back now to a tradition of welcoming children into the earth, as you can see there. When the children, you see this one, they already took the umbilical cord out. They already took the umbilical cord. They already dug it. They already dug for it and buried it underground. But this child has to go through certain rites of passage. This child has to be smeared with white clay or red clay, depending on where the child comes from. But a string of white beads will be made for this child, taken to the kraal, passed around the elderly man. Kamagu waguti. Thank you for the gifts. A string of white beads are going to be given to the elders. Each one of them to carry and so kind of like bless. That string is going to be strung together and given to the child. Maybe around the neck, maybe on the wrist. Other strings are going to be strung on the waist. We call it ukotso. You know, when I was a kid, I had so many beads strung around my body. I had so many beads strung around my body. Mine were specially made for me. They were specially made for me. And nowadays, they don't talk about ukotso, they talk about waistband. Oh no, it's just a waistband. I don't know what a waistband is. I know ukotso. One dictionary describes ukotso as the waistband that is worn by the Reds, which means the uneducated. No, it's not worn by the Reds. It's the traditional waistband that we used to wear. Another one is called, or another name is uncenge or uncenge. Incenge, uncenge or ukotso. Ncenge or ukotso. I used to wear it, I know very well. So this tradition of introducing the child, it involves those white beads. Now the white beads, the white beads, it's not decorative, it's not for beauty. Those ones represent amathambo, straight. As I said, amathambo alelukthula, white beads. Umgazi, red beads. Izulu, blue beads. Ulwandle, blue beads. Uhobe, blue beads. Iscawu, pink beads. Pink beads are called iscawu. Those are beads of noble people, high-ranking people in society. They wear the pink ones. Green and yellow, young people, because those are beads of fertility. Young wife, young husband, young man, give them green and yellow beads. Give some light and fertility to them. But the white, you don't play with that. Blue, navy-ish, royalty. Izulu nesibhakabhaka nolwandle. Now back to the mourning ritual. It's not just to mourn a physical passing, but any process of initiation, remember, represents giving up the old and embracing the new. For example, the individual on this photo, they would have had to give up who they are to become the person they are on the photo now. Utwasa. Basically, they are learning now. Once they are done learning, Utwasa has to pass on so that the doctor can come, the master can come. So the passing on of Utwasa has to be symbolized by some rite of passage as well. This is an initiate. Once the initiation is done, the old must pass, the new must come. Death and resurrection, Baba. Now there's a question. The white beads are mainly associated with Iqir. Not necessarily. The white beads are associated with imimoya, eseyadlula. The white beads are associated with amathambo, literally. Some people literally call it itambo, the white beads, the bone, because it's seen as a bead of itambo. Just like the red bead is associated with royal blood. The red bead is associated with royal blood, or at least back in the day. They used to call it umgazi, which means the blood. In fact, Amachawe, the royal clan, Amakhosa, would take isdanga somgazi and put it around the neck of a chief to give them the right. So white bones, red blood. There's another question. If ilifu elimnyama livelaphi, I mean, if we didn't wear black to symbolize mourning. Well, ilifu elimnyama kumbula. Ilifu elimnyama symbolizes rain. You understand? Ilifu elimnyama symbolizes rain. There's going to be rain that's coming, one. And I've never seen rain being thought of as a bad thing. I've never seen rain being thought of as a bad thing. I'm yet to hear an indigenous teacher, an elderly person who has not been influenced by the church. And I'm not talking about church here. I'm talking about influence of the church on our people. I'm yet to hear an elder who has not been influenced by the church who talks about ilifu elimnyama. You understand? Because it kind of feels like, to me, Tina, when I was young, I was taught that a dark cloud means there's rain that's coming. It means there's rain coming. No, I know the context you're asking, but I'm being careful of that. I'm being careful of that, not you, but that I know exactly. I grew up, old people used to say that, but it's all people who grew up under oppression. It's not all people who were necessarily free themselves. Yabo. So there are things that are not actually original, even to us, like wearing black. So I'm careful of some of the ideas that our elders still value to this day, because they are not, it's very obvious they are not original to us. Yeah, bon. It's like the whole thing of changing surnames and stuff. Like those things are new, but we take them because bakula beqinezelwe nabo vele. All I'm saying is that ngokwesintu rain is good. It's not bad. And rain can only come if there are clouds. There's no rain without clouds. Precipitation doesn't happen unless condensation has already happened. And condensation only happens after evaporation. So imvula ina kuna mafu. Now I understand the whole allegory of one cloud specifically being upon one's house. I hear that one. the symbolism there. And I'm not saying it's not ours either, but I'm just saying I'm a bit careful of that idea. But regardless, okay, let's say ilifu elimnyama, yes, is original to us. Still, black clothing was never worn. Yeah, born. Like there is no evidence of it having been worn anywhere except for people who go to church. What I know Uguti was being done, they used to wear amadlav, like old clothing, one, and then they used to put clay in their bodies. Now, if it's a man who passed away, then we cut our hair. Now, this is interesting to me because maybe some other day I would relate it to another story that I know. Of a man who cut his hair. All these are mourning rituals. The clay, the old clothes or the torn clothes, and the cutting of the hair. It's all mourning, things we do when we observe. To our bodies, literally. Now, there are other things. Danke siyabonga. There are other things that are done besides our bodies, like that we do elsewhere, like slaughtering a bull, ukukapha, etc. Now, those go more with funeral rites. We are born after we hear of the death. Now we slaughter a bull. In fact, royal families used to burn the entire bull, take the ashes, mix it with water, and people can wash their hands with that water or even drink. It's true. For us, rain is wealth because our wealth is in the land. The land feeds our cattle. The land feeds us. So the coming of rain was always seen as a good thing. The bad thing for us was the absence of rain, which is related to indlala, nesomiso or imbalela, ukubalela too much. Bonake, they fear rain. I don't know why, but we love it. So I realized, hey, mourning, I want to reiterate, mourning is not just limited to a physical passing, also a symbolic passing. When you pass from one stage to another, we still practice a form of mourning for that as well. We had a form of mourning that we practice for that because it's also a passing of passage. This is exactly why we call these things rites of passage, because we observe them when we move from one stage to another. Which is now, it brings me to another interesting point when we talk about the whole thing of passing. I remember our elders warning us of bad behavior. But yemntwanam uzawuya kwantsonga nyawana. Kwantsonga nyawana ke kulapho kusongwa khona inyawo. Uzawuya kwantsonga nyawana. Apho kusongwa khona inyawo. Or I've heard other people besithi kwaguqa nyawo. Ukuguqa is to bend. Unyawo is the foot. So basically where your legs will be bent. And this is a burial ceremony of, I think, some of the Namakwa Kwe people. The burial ceremony, I think, in the 1700s, late 1700s. I want you to observe how the legs are bent. Uguqisiwe zisongiwe inyawo. Because kwantsonga nyawana or kwaguqa nyawo kusengcwabeni. Abantu abadala used to warn us, bethi uzawuya mntanami kwantsonga nyawana uba uqhuba ngalendlela uye engcwabeni apho uyakhona, because bekungcwatywa in that position as a fetus. As a fetus comes out of the matrix, the mother's womb, shall an elder return to the earth. And again, the hole that you are being put into, whether it's in a cave, whether you are seated like this, or you look horizontally, it's a symbol of going back. You are being planted back, just like you were released Remember, you were a product of a planting that happened initially through copulation and fertilization of the egg by the sperm. You were planted. And shall you be planted again at the expiry of your life? And this is a planting ceremony. We are planting you back. That's why when a royal person is passed, kuthiwa uyatshalwa. Uyatshalwa back. Utshalwa ke ukuze akwazi ba abuye ahlume. Amakuthuba. Amaku. Utshalelwa ukuba ze abuye ahlume. Because ngaphandleni kokuba sitshale angeke kuhlume nto. This is a ceremony ke of ukutshala. This is a ceremony of ukutshala. I do have a Discord account, yes. I just don't know the username. I think I will share it in another, once I've confirmed it, in another live, I will share it. When we talk about Ukukanyawo, we talk of this. This is a burial site in Nakada. A burial site in Nakada, somewhere along Egypt and Sudan. And look at this person. Uchalwe kanjani. Years later, thousands of years later, thousands and thousands of years later, usaguqile inyawo to this day. To this day. Just like a fetus is in the mother's womb. Inside the original matrix, the true matrix. Because a matrix, remember now, the word matrix in and of itself means the womb. Matter is the womb. It's the environment that contains something. And think about the word matter as well when you talk about matrix. The womb through which the physical matter develops. Matrix. So the matrix you came out of, you were in this position when you were there inside. And shall you go back? And it's interesting because matrix also means mother. Matter. Comes from the same word. Matrix, mother, womb. And so is the earth a matrix. Because the earth is our mother. That's why we refer to the earth as a female. That's why we refer to countries as females. Because a country is a country because it has land. The land is a female. Unina. Hey. So this is kwaguqanyawo, okay? Straight. Uyatshalwa, as you see. Uyatshalwa as imbewu. Naye and wayetshaliwe ukuze abe khona, uyatshalwa ukuze mhla engekho. From the matrix you came to the matrix you shall go. I like it. So this is what abantu abadala ke used to say xa bethi ke uzawuya kwanza unganyawana mntanam, uzawuya kwaguqanyawo. Nanku uguqanyawo akekho omnye ngaphandle kwalo. Ngoba kaloku lo sowuphuma kuye uguqanyawo, sowuphumile kuye lo the womb. That's the original guqanyawo you came out of. You're already out of that one. And if you behave badly, uzoya kwaguqanyawo early. Uzoya kwaguqanyawo early. Abantu abadala have always had a way of putting these things into words. And Tina, ours is to just listen. Listen and understand. Hey, yeah. So, okay, these are the intricate things of our culture. When we talk of ukuzila, through the process of initiation, uzila ukufa kwalowo ebekho ngaphambili. Because when you get out of that initiation process, you will no longer be the person you used to be. Ufile, kuvuka omnye. Ukufa nokuvuka akuyonto intsha. Ukufa nokuvuka, we practice it every day thina esintwini. Because ukufa nokuvuka, whenever you move from one stage to another stage, kuhlangane nokufa nokuvuka. Whenever you move from one stage to another stage, kuhlangene nokufa nokuvuka. I like it. I like that these ideas are not new food. These are very old ideas that we've always had. Just because our people are careless about preserving these ideas, asazi. You see this symbol, iselwa. This symbol iselwa is the symbol of ukufa nokuvuka kwenyanga. Inyanga, excuse me, inyanga yeshumi elinesithathu, the 13th month, the last month of the year. When a new year comes in our indigenous cultures, this uselwa is broken to symbolize a new month, as the old month has died. Athi umuntu omdala athi inyanga ifile mntanam kuthwasa entsha. Because when a new month dies, an old month dies, a new one resurrects. But abantu abadala, oh, kumafa evuka njengenyanga. Yes, this is a calabash. Luselwa olu. Luselwa olu. This is a calabash that we used to contain many different things. We used it to put amasi, one kind of amasi from specific kinds of cows. One kind of amasi, we take the milk, we put it inside imvaba, which is a skin sack. Another kind of amasi, we take the milk, we put it inside this uselwa. Yeah. So this is uselwa. It was broken and smashed on the New Year's celebration, on the indigenous New Year's celebration. Smashed by the king. We've entered now a new season, a new year. Uselwa, you plant it. It's there in the rural areas. You plant it. Or you can buy it. You can buy uselwa. You can buy uselwa kwezindawo ezithengisayo. But it's a symbol of death and life. Because when the old year dies, a new one resurrects. Guys, when there's death, there's life. Remember I said, when a king passes on, what do? Sayichala. We plant the inkosi so that kuhlumenye. Ukuphupa kwenye inkosi, ukuhluma kwenye. Ukufa kwekwe kukuvuka kwendoda. Ukufa komntwana kukuvuka komuntu omdala. It's symbolic, it's allegorical. It's allegorical, it's not physical, it's not literal. So these are ideas that we need to start to be comfortable around. So that you don't get mesmerized by Greek philosophers, yeah. You don't get mesmerized by Greek philosophers, people who are high on drugs. Hey, bazo, they will come and close this. Oh, observer. So fikile madoda. Ukhona observer. Let's clap hands for observer, guys. Fikile observer. Hey, mathatha observer. See, Can't is calm madoda. Alright, guys, let's do like observer does. Observer, and the mouse observer ngubani. I've never seen observer, but observer, I see the actions. Observer is making me to do these lives. You know, I mean, hey, guys. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back. So, these ideas of resurrection, life, ukufa nokuvuka. The most obvious way ukubona ukufa nokuvuka inyanga, ngwedi, inkwezi. By the way, the name inkwezi is sisihlonipho. It's a respectful name. It's a euphemistic name for inyanga. Inyanga, inkwezi, ngwedi, khwedi, ifa ivuka each and every monthly cycle. Inyanga ifa ivuka every monthly cycle. That's why there's a saying ukuthi ngumafa ivuka njengenyanga. Someone who likes to disappear and come back, disappear and come back. You're not sure where they are. So inyanga kuti symbolizes ukufa nokuvuka. That is why sisitsho sithi when the month finishes inyanga ifile, and when the new month begins, and when we spot a new moon sithi inyanga ithwasile, because ukufa nokuvuka literally we can observe them. Ukuvela nokutshona ilanga, ukuvela nokutshona ilanga, ukuphuma nokutshona ilanga, east, mpuma langa, west, ntshona langa. Come on guys, we don't need other cultures to come and teach us about these things. Aye guys, you don't need Socrates to teach you about this. You don't need Aristotle to teach you about this. You don't need Plato. You don't need Epicurus. You don't need Pythagoras or Heraclitus. Come on now. uPythagoras asimdingi because sinabokhokho bethu who left us ingcebo. Unathi, we are talking about philosophy mntasekhaya. Hlala phansi umamele. It's philosophy now. We are going deep into indigenous philosophy. Hayi singena nzulu ngoku mntasekhaya. Get a cup of water and absorb. So ukufa nokuvuka ke, we don't look at it only in the aspect of physical, but each and every stage, which we call ikhabathiso, isigaba, izinga. When you enter a new stage, the old stage dies, guys. It only makes sense. Ithole alikwazi uphinda libuye libe imazi. Ithole alikwazi bangunina liselithole. Lidlule butholeni liyoba ngunina. Kodwa alikwazi ukuthi liselingunina libuyele butholeni. But one cow can go through all those stages. When one stage finishes, the other one starts. So the cow itself is still alive. Kodwa ubuthole bayo bufile kuvuka ubuthokazi. Kuvuka ubumazi. I don't have a podcast. I do have a YouTube channel. All my lives are posted on my YouTube channel. I don't have a podcast. I don't interview people or talk to people, but I have a YouTube channel where I post stuff. The name of the YouTube channel, Sandile Tugani. All my videos are there. Even the ones of these past few days. There's like 8 episodes that are waiting to play there. They're there for you to watch. Please watch them. All of them. Finish up. Watching those videos and finishing them, watching those videos will help me monetize. You see, if I monetize, kuzoshuba. Once I monetize, kuzoshuba. I'm telling you. Because at least the channel can fund itself. I might start interviewing people, but I need to have the right crowd of people. I need to have the right crowd. The things we hear out here, guys, are dangerous. So, yeah, I'll do that. So, iselwa is used kukushwama. When ukoshwama takes place at the end of the 13th month, because we have 12 months. When you observe the moon, there's a couple of days that are missing there. So we need to have a 13th month because we follow the cycle of the moon. The lunar calendar. Lunar means moon. So kusetshenziswa to crush the old year and to open up the new year. Think about it. Think about it. This is a symbol for the new year. But Tina, our new year is on the 1st of January and we are busy doing Greek stuff there of New Year's resolutions. Who's January? What is January? It's Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and endings. The transition. Uhlangana phi nathi uJanus? Sidibana phi thina noJanus? The two-faced god. Uthixo limenemene onobuso bubini. Thina singendawo kuJanuary. It has nothing to do with us. The new year. Yeah, it's limela and the planting season is in September. So that's the agricultural new year is in September. But there's a video, if you go to my YouTube channel, hey, thank you, Observer. There's a video that I did. I went really deep on the whole thing of time. There are 4 points to look at. There are 4 points to look at, not just September. You look at 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices. In any time, wherever you are, there are 2 equinoxes and there are 2 solstices, and there are 2 hemispheres. You understand? So those 2 equinoxes, 2 solstices, the solstices are in June and December, the equinoxes are in March and September. And in our cultures, all those 4 points have specific ceremonies. June is Limele. Amaxhosa observe something in that time. September, Umsinsi or Umandulo, it's the beginning of the planting season. December, kwenziwa in many of the cultures around that time. March, ulibo kwaXhosa, ukwindla, kwenziwa ulibo, first fruits. So all the 4 points, winter solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, all those 4 points are very much relevant. It's not just to September only. No, all the other times as well, they are very, very much relevant, and it's important that we also observe them. We can't just observe 1 or 2. Oh wow, tomorrow is the 21st. Yeah, it's the solstice. It's the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. The inverse in the northern hemisphere is the summer solstice. Good day. Bye. Don't worry. Bye. So in the northern hemisphere is the summer solstice. In the southern hemisphere is the winter solstice. So if we were going according to region-based calendar, tomorrow would be the Christmas of the southern hemisphere. Because remember, Christmas is in summer. There, that side. In winter, sorry. That's why they are wearing winter clothes. That's why Father Christmas is wearing those warm things. Here in South Africa, the Father Christmas is wearing warm things. The sun is so hot. The Father Christmas is literally dripping. Ayini, guys. We need to start thinking for ourselves. Yeah, ciao Father Christmas. Because kaloku it's summer here. Why are you having Christmas? Is not in summer. The man is burning and dripping hot. There's sweat all over the place. The gumboots are too big. There's old people that are sitting on his on his lap. Ah, my goodness. No, man, Christmas, obviously, it's a solstice, that thing. That's why I'm mentioning it. Christmas is a solstice. It's a summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. For us, it's a winter solstice. In December, we'll have a winter solstice when they're having we'll have a summer solstice when they're having a winter solstice. So it has nothing to do with those stories they've made up. It's a solstice. It's a natural cosmic event. So it's there. Even when you learn geography, it's there. That's why yeah, tomorrow's the winter solstice. So tomorrow in old mythology, they will tell you that the god of the winter is winning now. They will tell you that the god of winter has overcome the god of summer. Or the moon has overcome the sun. You know, old cultures have a way of packaging these ideas and personifying them. What they're trying to tell you is that the night is going to be significantly longer than the day. So there's going to be more darkness than there is light. And as we move towards spring, those times start to balance each other out. When we get to the equinox, the length of day and night start to be more equal. And as we move towards winter, the day starts to be longer. And therefore the god of the day or the god of the sun becomes stronger. It's not god of the sun or whatever. It's energy. Heat energy lasts longer now because the sun we are exposed to the sun for longer periods. Yay! So the calabash is a symbol of transition. Just like the white clay is a symbol of transition. Just like the white beads are a symbol of transition. These are symbols of transition. But earlier I had spoken about symbolism in our culture. And when I spoke about the symbolism in our culture, I mentioned something. Ichoba. Oh, Imbola, the red one. Oh, Imbola, it symbolizes life. Imbola symbolizes life. Remember, Imbola is red. Ibomvu. It goes well with blood. It symbolizes maturity. It symbolizes kuvutwa. You know, when you planted fruit, fruit tends to change color over time. When it's raw, sithi krwada, sithi krwaqa. When it changes to maturity now, when it starts to ripen, what do we say? Sithi imakrwala. So the word krwala is a word that means fresh but maturing. Fresh but ripening. So red is a color that symbolizes ubukrwala. Not in the sense that people think, but in the sense of life is maturing now. You know, it's a lifeline. Igazi. So when young men come out, they put imbola because bayavuthwa. Bayavuthweni ngomqo. That's why babizwa amakhaba. Because ikhaba is a branch of a tree that is just shooting out. Yabona? Emhlophe kaloku mntasekhaya yilena yamathambo amhlophe. Imbola emhlophe yile esetyenziswayo naxa kuzilwa. The white clay is the one that symbolizes a transition into from one stage to another. But once you've transitioned from that stage now, white clay is especially used by those who are amathwasa, abakhwetha, people abantu abazilileyo, because yimbola of transition, changing from one to another. Xa kufa enye kuvuka enye kusetyenziswa imbola emhlophe, but xa kuye kuvuthweni kusetyenziswa imbola ebomvu. So emhlophe yamathambo amhlophe eyokufa nokuvuka, ebomvu eyokukhula camako. Now benike ndancokola ngechoba earlier. Thank you, my brother. Umcako. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I didn't know that. I didn't know about umcako. I didn't know about umcako, but it makes sense to me. Thina siye siyibiza ingceke ke le imhlophe. Siye siyibiza ingceke okanye ifutha namagama ngamagama akhe. Imbola yamathambo amhlophe. Imbola yamathambo amhlophe. Ndiyayibona kodwa ndiyayibona. Hayi ke. Let's pass. Uyazi this thing, ichoba, the tail brush. I spoke deeply about it in the previous live. I'm not going to go back into it. I mentioned that ichoba symbolizes authority, power, and virility. But not just that, ichoba symbolizes fertility as well. And ichoba is not only meant... So I mentioned 3 different groups. I mentioned royalty and authorities and legal authorities. I mentioned imbongi. And I mentioned amagqirha. Because these people are people of authority. Imbongi has authority to walk before the king. Because imbongi igabula izigcawu, iyachayelela. Imbongi clears the pathway for royal blood. Igqirha, sometimes, depending on the occasion, is even above a man. Regardless of the age, when igqirha takes charge, igqirha noba ngumuntu ongumama kodwa liyindoda xa liphethe umsebenzi. That's why igqirha likwazi ungena kwezinye indawo that someone else may not be able to enter, but a traditional doctor is able to enter and do things that a normal person in that state, like a child, for example, if it's a young sangoma or a woman, normally they wouldn't be allowed. But because in that time and occasion, they are occupying a position of high authority, they carry this thing for authority. But also royals, they carry this thing. But I made a difference between ichoba, the tail brush of inkabi, an ox, and the tail brush of inkunzi, a bull. Because inkunzi is able to procreate and produce descendants. And therefore, ichoba lenkunzi symbolizes continuity, symbolizes fertility and energy. But ichoba lenkabi symbolizes strength and power. This is exactly why, if you go to ancient cultures, ancient cultures, you would find the pharaohs, they are wearing ichoba on their back. Look at it. They are wearing ichoba, the bull's tail, on their back. Why would a pharaoh wear ichoba on their tail? And by the way, if you look at the hand of the pharaoh, you can clearly see iwisa or igudu, which I also spoke about in the previous in the previous live. Look at the Pharaoh. They are wearing the bull's tail, each hoba, because it is a symbol of virility, fertility, procreation, continuity, and power. Inkunzi ehlabe ezinye, man. Inkunzi ehlabe ezinye, the Pharaoh. Thank you, Observer. Thank you so much. That's why they were singing for Umswati. Batsi, Mswati lomnyama, kulaba lotfuli. Ulotfu nganzaba wasekunene, ulotfu nganzaba wasemaphondweni, ngiyakwesaba Mswati lomnyama. Babuye bathi inkunzi njani, inkunzi njani ehlabe zinyebu, inkunzi njani, inkunzi njani ehlabe. Abathi inkabi njani. You can never have a king inkabi, man, because inkabi cannot procreate. Come on now. Thank you, Mahlatsi. A king, a pharaoh is a bull, not an ox. Because an ox is limited. Who can be an ox? The warrior. The warrior can be an ox. The one who serves. The one who serves in the court of the king can be an ox. Because that one is there to protect the king, to ensure continuity. Kunze hlabe ezinye. Kamaku, my people, for the gifts. I appreciate it. I appreciate the gifts. So, when you look at the bull's tail in the Pharaoh, understand what it symbolizes. Virility. It symbolizes amapalo. Thank you, Mahlatsi. It symbolizes amapalo akhutheleyo. Energetic sperms. Dare I say it again, energetic sperms, because a king is not a king unless a king can produce an heir. And these are the conditions. These are the conditions under which certain traditions come to play. Because when the king fails to produce an heir, then the brother of the king, kumele angenele owakubo. Now the brother of the king has to show up and help the king to reproduce. Now you will understand why these kings sometimes have to have many wives. And I'm not going to get into that because there could be many reasons, but the core element is such that the king can reproduce. That symbol there at the back, it's hoba lenkomo. You don't see our people just carrying it just for fun. It's there for authority. It's there for production of descendants, for continuity of culture and power. Another interesting aspect is the collar of the king. Look at the collar there that he's wearing. And look at what he has on his left hand. Iwisa, igudu, ipunguza, and the collar there. Which is interesting to me because I know I've seen this thing somewhere. This is a reproduction, by the way, of the king's girdle. Thank you, Obs. This is a reproduction of the king's girdle. This is the Middle Kingdom of Kemet. They try to reproduce the tail of the bull using this, which is amazing because we see these things every day, you know. We see these things every day. Look at what these gentlemen have on their hand, and look at what they are wearing on their waists, the girdles. This is what we call ukubhinqa. Ukubhinqa. People say, amabhinqa. These are the real amabhinqa because babhinqile. To ukubhinqa is to tie something. Ukubhinqa is to tie. Uqina. Ukubhinqa esinqeni. The real amabhinqa were pharaohs, Baba. The real amabhinqa were praise singers. The real amabhinqa were kings. They're not going around wearing brands that they don't know where they come from, or my Brentwood and all that. Come on now. No. Those were the people who were gatekeepers of culture and nobility. Amabhinqa, original, proper. Not liar people who are just... please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people must not enjoy their modern cultures. Please, I'm not saying that. Next thing, people are being offended here. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you as it is, nje. That's all there is, honestly. That's just the reality of the situation. Yeah, boy. And the collar of the pharaoh, I love it because it looks so familiar. And the stick on his hand, I love these things. Look at this. Look at this. Iwisa, igudu, ibunguza. Look at this on his left hand. What is this now? And look where there's a black arrow there. Bottom left. Look where there's a black arrow. Look, what is that thing on the back of the pharaoh there? Ichoba. That is the full regalia now of the royalty. Full. Bavunule kwanzima. Ivunulo nasebukhosini ke. Real royalty, not something that looks like royalty. These ones, they don't take orders from ANC. They don't take orders from a political party. These ones are real royalties, Baba. They decide what culture is. Those were the original superpowers of the world. Thank you, my observer. You are doing a very good job as an observer. I think something is going to grow. Something's going to grow. These were real superpowers who decided what culture is. Your Greek philosophers, Abo Socrates, Abo Plato, Heraclitus, Abo Pythagoras, they went to this two. Abantu babephethe ngokwenene ophalo. Ophalo, the pharaohs were taught to go and learn. But look at this. You see that bird go towards the left corner. I just don't know how to move this damn picture. Only if I knew. But if you go towards the left corner there, you can see ukuthi uphethe wisa. And we are vurvaya ngela wisa. Ubetha le phansi. He's moving this one down there. You can see. But you look at the head of the pharaoh. Indlondlo, enhloko. Look at the head. That snake, indlondlo le. Because indlondlo is something on the top. Uphethe wisa, uyavuthela ngalo. If this picture had appeared fully, we're gonna see ichoba at the back. You're gonna see ichoba at the back. That snake there on the top of the head, indlondlo le, ayikho indlondlo. Indlondlo. And yenziwe ngobhedu, ngothusi. It's made of bronze. It's cobra. Oh well, it depends what it's made of. It's cobra. And you know, tina cobra siyibiza ipimpi. Cobra sithi ipimpi when we say cobra. And you know, there's something interesting about ipimpi. The very name of cobra, ipimpi, sounds very interesting to me. It sounds very interesting to me. Because when I look at this, I see a pep. I see a pep. And we talk about ipimpi, the cobra. See that rugby player there, Mapimpi. That rugby player there, Umapimpi. Ipimpi. Sometimes the commentators will be like, Umapimpi, lipimpi, elinechefu. User blah 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 blah. Sihlobola njani namakula. Bafo, I must fix your ears. Ubalothethe ngamakula manje. Who spoke about amakula? Are you well in the head? Stop smoking when I'm smoke drugs and come to this live here. Talking philosophy up. If it's too much for you, leave it. And then we have this collar again. We have this collar. This collar again, we call it itumbu. Tinage upon sugakon. We call it itumbu. But if you look at the shape of this collar, if you look at the shape properly, you will know what itumbu, the small intestine of inkomo or maybe imvu ikusha. It looks exactly like this, exactly like this. But an older name of this thing is called ingqosha. Ingqosha is actually the area between your shoulder and your neck. where this thing lies. Ingqosha. So it's the collar for that. It's the collar for that. It's generally used by abantu abadala. It will be generally used by abantu abadala. But I wanna check something, you know. I wanna show you something here. These people, I don't even have time to entertain them. Someone who can't think. You understand? Who can't think? They just want us to talk about EFF and MK and ANC. I don't have time for them. They must go and do those dumb things somewhere else. Go there, talk to your girlfriend, Baba. This is not time to play. I don't have time for that. I will hurt you. I will hurt you with words. I want you to look at this picture. Umama lona, probably from somewhere in the Kalahari, maybe Botswana. Look at the face. Just look at the face. And then notice here another face. Yabo. Now in Kemet, ancient Kemet, you get and I'm not talking about Egypt, the layers Amalek. In ancient Kemet, you get something called the face hieroglyph. I mean, you got this face. Yeah, I mean, these are our people, man. These are our people. The Endotuke can see for brown aboriginal. Beteta it was the call. Busy telling us nonsense. Thank you, observer. I want you to look at the face hieroglyph very carefully. I want you to look at it thoroughly. Look at the nose. Don't be confused by lies. I don't see ikulam now when I look at this. Unless elakuni ikula linempumlo enje nendlebe ezinje namehlo anje. Amakula, they will never look like this. Abantwana bomgquba, these are people of the soil. Amakulanga. Come on now. Think a bit. Think. Likula ubonikula up. Ubonikula up. Don't play with us. Yeah, no, the high cheekbones, absolutely. Absolutely. And you see those high cheekbones and even the nose. Even the nose. Look at those ears. They look like a Musutu ears. Indlebe zabeSuthu. You understand? But this thing is everywhere. This thing is everywhere. We are not even talking here. We are just exploring. We're not even talking. But I want to show something. Yabo. Now that we are talking about this subject, Yabo, I want to share something that is a bit deep. Something that is a bit deep. I saw this. Yeah. If you look at this, if you look at this picture here, you can see the word on the side. And then if you look at the hieroglyphs, it's one man standing, raising their hand. And then it says, "Oh, hail." And then another one at the bottom, And you can see a man kneeling down or a person kneeling down, raising their hand. And then it means praise and acclamation. Earlier, I had spoken about how means praise. Which is why when we greet each other, we say, Dlamini, Twanini, Jambase, Dalipunga, etc., etc. Look at and look at what it means, praise. It means praise. Even in Venda, the women, when they greet the men, they say, and they call the men Kodzi. You know Kodzi means Nkosi, Father. And then they greet them, which means I praise you. You see another one here, It means to praise, to applaud, to ascribe glory to acclaim, to rejoice. These are not ideas that came from somewhere else. These are our original ideas. These are our original ideas. I'm just trying to show you. We have not even begun to scratch the surface. I'm just sharing so that you see. But perhaps there's something else I would like to share. The true origin of alphabet. This is the letter for Q, by the way. This is Q. Generally, in English and these other languages, when they want to write a word with a sound K, they will write Q. This is the origin for Q, the original letter that was used. They call it kof or kop. But if you look at it, it's an eye and then a one eyelash that's going down. It's an eye and one eyelash that's going down. It's Q. The name is Kop, which literally translates to the word inkope. Come on now. Q is the letter K, which means inkope. That is the original meaning of the letter Q. That's why they normally use it for the letter K in these English languages. Queen, they put Q. When we are queuing in a line, they put Q because it relates to the sound K. Kope. That's why they call it kof in Hebrew and in Arabic and in all these other languages. These are the kind of stuff that we don't even begin to scratch the surface. This is another letter called gamal. Gamal or gimel. In Greek, it's gamma. That's why you have those things called gamma rays. But if you look at this very clearly, you can see this is the back, the hump on the back of a camel. This is the hump on the back of a camel. Gamal, Gimela, all come from an original click sound. Amela. Amela, to be upon something. This is a word we use when we translate the idea of something. Amela. Guys, we need to understand that clicks are the original speech. Even these languages that seem to not have clicks, they come from clicks. I repeat, clicks are the oldest form of speech. It's the main way you can translate these languages we speak today. They actually come from clicks originally. So, the letter for G and K, the sound for G and K is the same sound. The sound that is produced by G and K is the same sound. In fact, linguistically, these sounds are called velar, V-E-L-A-R. These are velar sounds. What does velar mean? It means at the back of the palate, at the soft part of the palate. It's the velum, the soft part. So you have the palate here, but when you move back on the palate, there's a part that's soft there. Try to say g, gogo, g, gogo. You will hear that the G sound comes from there, from the back of the palate. And try to say k, ukaka, ikaka, ikau. That sound comes from the back of the palate as well. We call them velar sounds. Now, it's not just velar sounds, there are also fricative sounds like they also come from the same place, the velar. They also come from the same place. But all these sounds, originally they were pronounced at the front of the mouth. Here, on what we call the alveolar, just behind the front teeth. So you have the front teeth here. At the back of the front teeth, there's a ridge. It's called the alveolar. When you put your tongue, the tip of your tongue, against the alveolar ridge, and you suck your tongue back, you suck the air with your tongue, strongly, you get a Q click, a dental click. It's when you wanna immediately codify that click sound, you need to do it softly now and don't do it strong. Like when you do it softly, you move from ow to tau for a lion. You move from Au to Ndau for a lion. You move from Ingawane to Isandawane for a hyena. It's the same word. It's just that the pronunciation has gotten softer. This is the binary code of language. Harsh and soft. 1 and 0. On and off. That's what binary is. It's code. You do know that computers communicate in code. Zeros and ones, but the zeros are just representations of on and off. A processor of a computer has millions of transistors, little switches that turn on and off, on and off, on and off, like very fast to transfer messages. This is the binary, little codes. Past each and every press, each and every instruction you send to the computer, the processor is processing it. This is code. And therefore, this is how language operates as well. You have the and the t. You have the and the d. This is the 1 and the 0, the hard and the soft, the harsh and the codified. That's why you move from Kau, Ukungawa, the cause. Which is why we call about Ingawa, an excellent hunter. You move from Kau, Ukungawa, to Tau, the lion, the hunter of the wild. You move from Kau to Ndau, that's why you have the Ndau, like for a lion. Go to Chivenda, they say Ndau, lion. You move from Kham to Kham for a lion. You move from Kham to Kham. This is code. Observation. This is code, guys. Very important that we understand. So when we talk about clicks being the original, we're not just, talking about things. At least for me, I know exactly what I'm talking about. We all speak in clicks. Whether they are softened or still harsh, but we speak in them. When you say impuku and impukane, you're literally saying the little one and the little tiny one. Puku, uhu. It's a bilabial click. Which means tiny. It's a diminutive word. That's why you will always find it in animals that tend to be small than others. Impuku, a little mouse. Impunzi, iputi, a little antelope. There are bigger ones. Impukane, a little fly. There are bigger ones. Mpu, diminutive. From that click sound, which is a bilabial click, you get mpu. Mpunguch, a little hunter. There are bigger ones. From we get a softened version. From the 1, the code, the on switch, we get the 0. So we are just coding it. We are hiding it. From Twa to fight, you get Loa to fight, Ukulwa. From Twaki, a fighting stick, you get Swazi, a fighting stick. Guys, do you see it? In fact, thank you, Kuma. If you go to these languages we speak today, it's Xhosa, it's Zulu, it's what. Just go look for izihlonipho. Just go look for izihlonipho. You will actually see what I'm talking about. Ukufaka, to put something in. Isihlonipho sakhona, it's xhaka. It has a click. Isihlonipho seligama lithi ukufaka, to insert. It has a click, xhaka. Why do you think it is? Because that's why it's the same word. Ukuncanca, ukuncancisa, ukwanyisa, ukunyanya, ukwanyisa. Same word, different sounds. Ncanca, nyanya. Ncinci, nyinyi, or nene. Tato mncinci, kotsi munene, nene small. Ana in call for a child, mntwana. Ane in call for a child, ngwane. Kwane, ngwane. Ichwane, ingane. Same thing, just hidden sound. Just hidden sound. Ingozi, the little one. In fact, I mentioned earlier the word we normally use to refer to similitude. Ukufana twa tse. Ngwana, yes. Twa tse. Islonipo bawo. You wanna making money? Islonipo, it's everywhere. Islonipo, it's everywhere. Even kubatwa. Islonipo, even kubatwa, it's there. We respect a lot of things. It's not just the in-laws. Inyanga, we don't call it inyanga. We'll call it inkwezi. There are different reasons why we use islonipo. But yes, islonipo is also used to refer to the in-laws, especially the father-in-law. Like there's certain forbidden things you can't say with your mouth. Inkuku, the chicken. My mother used to say iyuku. Because you need to understand my father's name is Kunku. My father's name is Kunku. You see? My father's name is Kunku. So another name my mother doesn't say is the name Impendulo, an answer. My mom can't say answer, Impendulo, because one of my grandfather's name is Impendulo. So she says Gamakulu, which means great name. She can't say Impendulo. She can't say Hlati. Hlati is our clan. So she says Nged. But there are other names at home they used to use, like what is this word? Ukuqonda, to understand. My mother would say shonda. Shonda, to understand. Njalo, at home they would say njalo. Same word. What I'm trying to say is that for every click, there's a non-click version of the word. So when you see languages with no clicks, actually the version of the clicks are still there. It's not like there are no click versions of those same words. I just mentioned chivenda, ndau. You have ngau, which means a great hunter. To ngau is to follow, is to pursue, is to stalk. You see, when you follow prey in the jungle, we are in ngau. We are in ngau. And a great hunter would be called in ngau. In fact, the most experienced hunters, they would even go alone. By your ngau the whole day. Some animals you can't just kill. They are massive. Like they're too big. You can't kill. Even if you are so good at killing, you can't. You have to follow them around. Even if you already use a bow, you can't take them out. They are just big. Even the poison is not strong enough sometimes. Especially using those old methods. Like things like elephants. You can't just take out an elephant like that. They had to make fire around it for days. They had to make fire. In fact, even the name of an elephant, oh, is a codification of oh. Oh, it's a palatal click. Oh, from a word that means to over, to supersede, to exceed, to be bigger than. Ukudlula, basically. The word ndlovu means ukudlula. No is a click. In fact, here's another thing about clicks. Clicks are not going to be defined by Europeans. That's another thing. Let me tell you words that are actually clicks. These lateral alveolar fricative, like and HL and TL, those are click words. I promise you. Those are click words. And DL, we call them lateral alveolar fricatives. O, it's actually O or O. If you take the palatal click and you take the velar fricative or you put them together, you get the sound. Observer, thank you. If you take the palatal click, you take the fricative, put them together, you get oh. The easiest way to codify it would be to take it. In fact, there's an audio I'm gonna play now. An audio of the Kregui language. You see? Kregui. It's not just it's two sounds in one. It's the and the you pronounce it once, it's Kregui. And this is what confuses me sometimes when people say words like, oh, Kwekam. I'm like, what is Kwekam though? In which language is Kwekam? Because Kwe means person, Kam means water, Kwekam means person water. Which language is that? And who's Kwekam? It's another thing that South Africans are using now. I'm like, what is Kwekam? Then I realize, oh, people are trying to replace Khoisan with an equivalent, which I've been telling us to stop. Yes, Dabezit, that's correct. You see the way you wrote it, that's Kregui. Also, Kham is written the same way. It's and Kham. It's Kham. Oh, Kham. So a lot of these words are like that. It's not Kham. It's not Kham. There's no Kham here. It's Kham. C-K-R-A-M. Kham or C-R-H-A-M. That's how you pronounce the sound. And there is no such a thing as Kwe Kam or Kwe what. Kwe is a one word and that's it. It's complete as one word. Kam, it's a nation of people. Kam Kat-E. He has nothing to do. Put the H after the R. Put the H after the R. It's Kham. That's how you pronounce that. Thank you, Kuma. Thank you. I wanna play an audio, an audio of Uyopi Mabinda. Uyopi Mabinda is a speaker of Kregui. I want you to hear when I say is also a click. I know what I'm talking about. Is the like the easiest sound to replace a click? It's thank you, observer. The easiest sound to replace a click, thank you, is to use it. The basic. What about using KL? I suppose KL is fourth political theory. I suppose KL is in isiZulu, ne? In fact, I think that's already been done. Because the Kregui people themselves, they refer to themselves as Otle sometimes. Otle. They call themselves Otle sometimes. So I think that's already been done. Which is interesting because there was another group. There's another group called Otle people. I think Otle was just another naming of that. This Kwekam thing, man, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with my people. Our people, they like to take one oppressive thing and replace it with another oppressive thing. There is this thing of trying to create an equivalent of something. Well, this Kwekam thing, they use it to replace Khoisan. Both those things, Khoisan and Kwekam, they don't exist. They're just not real. My goodness. Some places are just not ready to hear this this thing about queer people. Some spaces are just not ready. So yeah, people are just gonna ridicule you and laugh at you. So I'm gonna play an audio. I want you guys to hear some of these words.
Ngifunda izindimi. Ngifunda incini. Ngifunda isilimi samabusman. Ngifunda cingi xhuhle.
You see? Ndifuna ufunda izilwimi zamabossman. Ndifuna ufunda izilwimi zamabossman. Listen to what he says.
Inkosi. Izeya cha. Ngizoba teacher. Izeya teacher. Ngizoba liphoyisa. Izeya phoro. Ngizoba umuntu okhulumayo izindimi. Izeya kwikincini. Bengiyinkosi. Ingeya cha. Ngaba inkosi. Izeya cha. Manje biza ingedlu angcha. Ingedlu angcha.
You see, he says, Ngedlu angchaan. I'm gonna be a king. Ngedlu angchaan. Zoba inkosi. Khaan means a king. Khaan means king. It's similar to the word qeng. Khaan, qeng, which you find amongst the Majola people who call themselves qengeba, or amongst the Baputi people who call their king qenge. Oh, well, he was called Qenge by the Kwaikwe people. Qenge means king. Kaang means king. Qengeba means king. So this man, Uyopima Binda, says Kaan when he says king. The word Kaan, Qeng, Qenge, Kang, all mean king. Let's play it.
Came a chief. Bizage ngane inkeya khaan. Ngane inkeya khaan.
Ngane inkeya khaan. Ngane inkeya khaan. I became a chief. Ngane inkeya khaan. I became a chief.
I too became a chief. Ukubeka. Ngekhoa. Ngibekile endlini. Ngikhoa enqini.
Ndibekile endlini. Ngikhoa enqini. Ngikhoa enqini. Endlini. Can you see it's the same word? Endlini. Endlini. It's the same thing you find in ngu. But in which is kasisudu ntlung, which is the same thing you find. Hey, exactly. You find in Amangrongo. It's literally the people of the house. I love it. Let's see.
I too became a chief. Ukubeka. Ngibekile endlini. Ngibekile emotweni. Ngibekile impahla. Ngibekile izinto. Manje biza ngikhoa uweng. I put away the things. Ukubeka.
Ngqin ulwimi. Thank you, observer. So when he says ngiyafunda, umfunda, ndifunda izilimi, nifunda ngqin ulwimi. Guys, you must respect izihlonipho. Izihlonipho are the key. Remember, I told you this is code. So why aren't any of Kwe languages part of our official languages? My brother. Suka. You know our government is so useless, man. I am so delusional. I'm sorry. I don't want any association with them. They might as well not even put it is not just the Kwe languages that are not official, you know. There are many other languages that are not official. Many languages like Siputi, you know, Kilubedu is not official. Sipulana is not official. These people are not serious, man. Not a language called Isimfengu. They call it Old Mfengu. It completely died. Thank you, observer. Thank you. The language completely died. Like, how can a language die? A language that was spoken just now in the 1830s, 1840s, 1850s. The language is dead now. Dead. So let's continue. Oh, by the way, when Yopi Mabinda says Ntwin, Ulwimi, read this Hlonipho, guys, you will understand. Now, Yopi Mabinda stayed around Pumalanga. Ne? His people, though, you'll be finding Pumalanga and KZN and the Drakensberg area.
Funda isilimi samabusman.
Inkeme funda twingi tlautle.
Inqwene funda qing hitloutle. Inqwene funda qwin hitloutle. Inqwene ufunda qwin hitloutle. Ndifuna ukufunda ulwimi lwamatloutle. It's like the other video I made. Akala ngqwa qinkya uxela eyamangqwa ilwimi. Qinkya ulwimi. Qinkya ulwimi. Qala ukutshela ukuthetha ukukhuluma. Aqala uxela or usitshela ukhuluma in uthetha in. Aqala ngqwa qinkya uthetha ulwimi lwamangqongo. Indlu. Ngqwa iziqu zendlu abantu bendlu. It's Yopi Mabinda, Jopi Mabinda, Mabinda.
Ngiyaluma.
Insiye.
Inja iyaluma.
Akho insiye.
Izinja ziyaluma.
Ngikhuma insiye.
Inja ilumile umntwana.
Akho
Umntwana.
inhlwinge sixele.
Lenja kayilumi.
Alakho atsiye.
Leya iluma kabi.
Ayikwena insiye.
Hayikwena leya. Hayikwena atsiye. Leya iluma kabi.
Ngithwala isigqoko.
Eyagwanga.
Ngembathi imbanji.
Eyalibhanjizi.
You see, ukuthwala and ukwembatha for them, it's inqeya, which is literally the word ukuxwaya. Ukutyatha. Inqeya, ukuxwaya is to put something on the head and on the back. The name is Yopi Mabinda. Jopi Mabinda.
Ngithwala umshubelo.
Eyagwele. Eyamshubelo. Yamshubelo.
Inqeya mshubelo. Ithwala umshubelo. Nqwaya umshubelo. Inqeya mshubelo. Means ngi. Ngi. Inqeya ngi. Inqeya mshubelo. Ngiqwaya umshubelo.
Ngibopha umshubelo.
Ingqina mshubelo.
Ngibophe ibokisi. Ngibophe intambo.
Ingqina elibhokisi ingchwizi.
Ingxenya uqhina. Ingxenya.
Ingqina yanchwizi.
Ngibophela inkomo.
Ingqixwa.
Ibhanji lidabukile.
Libhanji zikinentra.
Ibhanji liyadabuka.
Libhanji zikinentraye.
Ibhanji lizadabuka.
Libhanji zikinezatra.
Ibhanji leli alidabuki.
Libhanji sena atraye.
Siyalwa.
Ije.
Silwile.
Ijeya.
Silwile namabhunu.
Ijeya nqamabhunu.
Silwile namaswazi.
Ijeya nqacu.
Silwile namangisi.
Ijeya nqagi.
Sizalwa.
Izitshe.
Asifuna ukulwa.
Iaqhime ejezi.
Uphumaphi?
Ungqinayide.
Niphumaphi?
Ungqiyayide.
Phuma lapha endlini.
Qenweke inqini.
Qewuke inxeni. Phuma lapha endlini. Qewuke inxeni. Who? Endlini. Kenxini.
Yini ningaphumi endlini?
Hathu uagengwe emnyango.
Ngondla umntwana.
Ungxengwe exele
Ngondlile umntwana lo.
Uthi amaswazi cu. When he refers to amaswazi, uthi cu. Cu amaswazi.
ungxengwa laxele.
Ngiza kondla umntwana lo.
Izangxengwa.
He did not say Bantu invader. Uthe cu amaswazi. So I don't know aba Bantu invader bayithatha. Siyakhala ke.
Elaxele.
Abantu abelungu abasondli kahle.
Inxoxe angeye.
Amaswazi asondla kahle.
Ingxengwa angeye.
Ukuhata. Ukunyathela.
Umtshaya.
Nginyathela.
So these guys, basically, this is the last speaker of the language. Today, all the descendants are probably Swati. Maybe some, the ones who stayed in the farms, probably, maybe. Abakangwenya, ama descendants of Abantu. You find them Kwangwenya. There are many audios like this, different. I'm with my father. You say Nababa, Nababa, or Nobaba. In Khegu, if you say I'm sick, Nakura. You see, it's very similar. And it's not some Khoi language, it's a proper Bushman language, proper Kui dialect. So when I talk about Kui languages, I talk about the oldest branch of languages you can ever find. Kui, they are called Ta Kui languages. Ta means people from the word tu, as in Batu. They say tu, a person. Ta, people. Tu, mutu. Kui is also another language. It's also another word that means Batu. Yes, bebekhuluma Xhegwi eMpumalanga. Bebekhuluma Xhegwi KZN. But in KZN you would find a lot of languages. No, they spoke Xhegwi even with Amaswati. They spoke Xhegwi even with Amaswati, you know. But a lot of them ended up becoming Swati nje vele. But there are many other clans that come from these people. Think about Amangasana. Think about Abumsimang. Think about I think which other inzala yabikhona nje vele. Uyabona. Isaphila futhi. Kamnandi futhi. So uyabuza, what is the real name for Bushman? No, remember, real. But when we say real name, I think what we were trying to say is to say, what is the name? The group called Kanye. That's their real name. There's no other name. The real name is Kanye. Another group you will find Jew. Their real name is Jew. Or Jungwansi. So the names they call themselves are the real names. So bakhona bazibiza Chwa. Okhokho bethu abaninzi bebengabachwa. All the names mean person in essence. Uyabo. Language through the words. Amaxesibe, and I saw an old clan praise of Amaxesibe besibiza abathwa. And I wonder why they stopped using that. Because these days it's hard to hear Amaxesibe KZN abathwa. And I've always understood ukuthi Amaxesibe ngabathwa. It's just that people confuse ubutwa with ubuzwe, you know. They really try and confuse that. So yeah. So yeah. So people. Laka is just a codification of an old word chaka, which kwizihlonipho zesiZulu uyalifumana la gama ucaka, which is anger. Ucaka, right, which is the old version of ukulwa. Isihlonipho ukugasela. That's why you find the word ukugasela in many clan praises. Ushaka wagasela. Usosha ukuhlakanipha is Izihlonipho is the closest our people will get to learning these languages. Izihlonipho is the closest our people will get to learning these languages. Ningalibali guys, ne? To go and watch the lives. Those who don't have time to watch the whole thing, please go and watch the lives on YouTube. The lives are there. Some of them are 3 hours, some of them are 4 hours, some of them are 5 hours. Please go and watch all of them. When you watch all of them, you're going to help me to monetize quickly. I was just going through some words that we use to respect other words. Tsakaza is a codified. Fakaza is ukucakula is an old form of to build, ukwakha. To build, ukwakha, means to take. That's why when you say ukulwa, it's cwa. Yabo. In fact, another word is ilwanyane. Lwanyane, sisicanane. Isilwanyazana, sisicanazana. Yabo. Inyama, yincama. That's why inyamazana then iyincamazana. My people, learn izihlonipho. Learn. Umlando, in an older version, I can say isomcando. And I'm not making this up, I promise you. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call it a night now. In network, it's red, which I don't understand. I'm gonna call it a night now, guys. Unless you guys want me to continue, you can say so. I can do one more live, but I think let me rest and then we start in the morning tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll start in the morning. I'll see you.